Good morning. Happy Saturday, everyone. So, gonna try to just jump in briefly. So, I'm a little tired today. We got in at 1 a.m. yesterday or this morning, and that's not like me. I am not used to staying up that late. It's been a while since I've been like in college, and like I don't do the whole 1 a.m. thing. So I have my Italian sparkling water with me to just help me through this short live chat. But I want to show off a few early birthday goodies. Thank you, Christina. Thank you. um, and I want to share with you a crazy story from yesterday. Well, it's a bunch of stories from yesterday, which is why I got home at 1 a.m. You know, we went to our friend's daughter's 8th grade promotion party. So as more peeps jump in, I want to get into that because that was like, woo, which is part of the reason why I'm so drained today. So there was a lot going on at that party yesterday. Oh my gosh. Wait till I share that story, share stories with you. And then, yeah, and then getting home at 1 a.m., like pretty tired since I'm more like a 10:30, 11 p.m. person. Thank you, New Age Lunatic. What's up? Oh, and then since like this is my first Saturday in summer, because last day of school was on Wednesday, Thursday was graduation. Got to see my seniors graduate. It was really special with those seniors because I had them as freshmen as well. So Sherry Bug D, hello, hello, hello. And so that was kind of cool to watch them graduate. So Friday, yesterday, which felt like Saturday to me, we went up and had that. Went to our friend's party for her daughter's 8th grade promotion. So, and then when I got home, there were packages at my doorstep. I'm glad nobody yanked them because it was 1 a.m. when we got home. So like early birthday gifts. So I can't wait to show those off. And yeah, so and let me have a drink of water and well, let's show off some of the birthday gifts first. Sherry Bug said, she loves her yummy mystical sprays that she ordered. I'm so glad. I was going to ask you, how you like them. And I was like really cautious, like just one spritz is like all you need because they're pretty potent. Okay, so getting some water. I like the water with the gas, with gas. Okay, so first thing to arrive yesterday was more like a gift to me. And I got the Lucy Cavendish Blessed Bee cards. So I was super excited. Because it was so early this morning that I came in, I actually didn't have a chance to look at them. I just had a chance to take them out of their packaging. So I'm actually going to be looking at that with you guys. So I can't wait to look into the little guidebook that's here. I always like to take a little look-ski, and I like that it's all purple inside. That's pretty cool. So here's the backs. New Age Lunatic says she has some eye on some sprays. Well, yesterday I had to make a batch of my healing salves and my sprays because our friend that was throwing the party, she's like, can I just, instead of going through Etsy, she's like, can I just buy like 3 of the salves off of you and 3 of the sprays? And I was like, sure. So she wanted the No Bad Vibes sprays because she was dealing with some really negative energy, and she wanted, and she also wanted extras because there's a couple of like woo-woo shops and witchy shops she likes to go into, and one of them's called Coven's Cottage, and the other one is Lady of the Lake, which is in Oceanside, and they only like sell products from stuff that's made here in San Diego. And so she's like, I want them to be able to see your stuff. And she's like, I know you don't want to go like all commercial and everything. Steph is here. All the way from Belgium. How are you? And so she's like, but you really need to get your stuff out there. And she goes, and I want to show them like how awesome your salves and your sprays are. And I was like, oh, I was like, I don't know how I could make like a lot of them though. Like I usually just like make stuff to order. And she was like, well, you're going to have to figure it out because if people like your stuff, she goes, I want you to be able to, you know, sell a lot of it. And I was like, okay. So I thought that was really sweet of her. Um, Steph said she is fine. I'm doing great. I'm pretty tired, but um, we will we will power through. Okay, so again, lovely backings, and I'm gonna look at these with you guys. So I'm gonna be just like looking at the screen with you and just ooh. Some of them are still a little stuck together because, like I said, I haven't had a chance to flip through them. Ooh, ooh, I like that one. Let me do a little bend, get them unstuck. There we go. Yeah, wow, it's like right. I'm like, woo. No, Steph, this is not the Avalon Oracle, but if you check your Viber, I actually did a special little walkthrough of the Avalons for Mechness for you. Ooh, I can't wait to use these cards. Maybe I'll do that for our card draw today. Hold on, get my face out of here so it can focus. Yeah, the art's really great. This is the Blessed Bee Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. Yeah, I am really stoked with the artwork right now. I'm like, ooh, it's all the earthy loveliness that I'm into. Like I'm a total earthy baby. Total earthy witch. Yeah, it's fantastic art. Ooh, a blessing to bring prosperity. This one's cool. I like that one. Steph says, oh yeah, with nature, animals, it's great. Yes. Yes, anything with animals, anything with greenery, anything super groundy feeling I like. Even oracle decks that have a more cosmic feel. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I think that even some of the cosmic decks can have a really grounding feeling, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I like those kind too. And then that one's, I believe, on the cover. Ooh, so I'm just flipping through all of them because I haven't seen them yet. So I'm like, ooh. Nui Lunatic really loves Lucy Cavendish's writing. I agree, and they are so pretty. I'm a huge like Lucy Cavendish fan, so I think I have just about all her decks. I think I do, actually. And I love the way she writes her guidebooks. I mean, you know, sometimes a guidebook can be really pretty, really thick, have a lot of flowery words, but sometimes they really just don't connect to you. And I love when I'm able to actually connect with what's in the deck. Hi from Chile. Oh, and she is a crystal healer too. Well, hello from Chile. Pincoya. Pincoya Crystal. And here we go. So that's cool. Yay, yay, yay. So that was like my little early birthday gift to me. Oh, and before I forget, I already have a few people that are taking advantage of that pay what you can for readings. So this whole weekend, it's like if you just go to paypal.me/kittenswaitstarot, you like pay whatever you want and put in your email address in the notes section and your question. And at the end of this weekend, I'm gonna start getting to all of those because I already have a few people have signed up and like sent me their questions and just like whatever you can afford. If all you can afford is $1, like we'll do a reading. But you know, so maybe some of the smaller readings will just be a card or cards, send you an email. Maybe some bigger readings might be more like a video, so I'll send you like the unlisted video link to your email. But yeah, so if you guys are interested, this whole weekend for my birthday weekend is just pay what you can, whatever you can afford. You know, send in your question, and yeah. So if all you got is $1, like that's cool too. Okay, so there was that, and then there's a couple of things that I got last week, not yesterday, but well, one thing I got last week was Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle, and I haven't watched her full like activation video, but I think that'll be pretty awesome. I'm already currently using it, well, it's behind me, for my daily draw, and here are the backs, and I've already started posting some of these on Instagram. So this is one of those like cosmic-y feeling decks, and this is the same artist, Danielle Knoll, that does the Star Child Tarot and has created the Moon Child Tarot. And I believe she created, or she's also done that artwork for a unicorn book. I love her artwork. To me, it's that cosmic-y but also grounding feeling, and I dig it. I dig it a lot. So yeah, you guys probably already seen a bunch of these. Yeah, it's very ethereal. Like I like to be able to just pull one card. I usually, I'm not gonna really do a spread with these, but it's like pulling a card and just like going into it and then like meditating with it. Like that's how I feel like I want to use this deck. Steph said it's so beautiful and celestial lights, so amazing. Yes, it is amazeballs. That one's pretty cool. Actually, looking after this, which reminds me of Mother Mary. It's so odd. Okay, so you guys know I'm, you know, I have so many bits and pieces of like religions that I've studied like in my witchy, you know, practice. And like lately, like Mother Mary has been coming in, and it's not an energy I really work with, but it's like she's stalking me. And I'm like, whoa, lady. But you know, I work with like many like mother, like, you know, the goddess, like from like different types of religions. And so this is like the first time that like Mother Mary from like Christianity has like come through. Because I mean, every now and then I work with my homie Jesus, but I work in conjunction with him with Shiva and Ganesha, like when I'm doing like healings and stuff like that. But yeah, Mary's been coming in strong. And I'm trying to figure out like how to work with her energy, but she really wants to be worked with, because she won't leave me alone. And I'm just like, oh, hi. um, Sherrybug said she had Reiki for the first time last weekend, and she was seeing animals while it happened. It was crazy. I believe it, because when I get acupuncture, I trip out, girl. Like, I mean, my boyfriend does too, and he's Mr. Straight Laced, Mr. Grounded, Mr. Logical, and even he will tell me that he like trips out during acupuncture. He's like, you ever feel like you're a dolphin floating through the hallways when you're getting acupuncture? And I was like, yes. He's like, yeah, it's like he's like, you're out of your body and you're like a dolphin going through the hallways. And this is coming from like my total like Mr. I can only see, you know, believe what I see and feel and can whatever put together with my own brain. And he's like telling me about floating like a dolphin through the hallways. I'm okay, there's something to that's there. There is a book that now that it's summertime, I can finally start reading, and it's the Come As You Are, and this is by, where is her name? Oh, Emily Nagoski, PhD. And I actually saw this book on, I don't know if you guys know the YouTube channel Anna Akana. She's like a comedian, and she does like these really quirky sketches, and she loves cats. Like, she's known as the crazy cat lady, and she did one little video on this book, how much she loved it, and it was like totally different from, like, she was like, I just want to put this book out here, like, this is not like me doing like a comedy sketch, and it was actually a video that didn't have her cats in it. Or maybe it did. But yeah, I think this is really cool, because I don't really read sex ed books. Like, that's not really my genre of like reading. But what she was saying about it was like really cool, and I was like, okay. And so I've been reading this, and it's kind of like geeky science, science of the brain, science like of your body. So it's like physiology, psychology. It's really interesting on like how our brains are wired and how, she's trying to say, men and women are actually not different like at all. As much as we like to say there's like so many differences, she goes, it's actually like all the same stuff, just different configurations, and then she was talking about, well, you guys just need to read the book because there was stuff that I was never even taught in school. Like I was actually like confused, like why do guys have nipples? Why does my boy cat have nipples? He has a lot of them actually, but and it's like she like goes into that and into why certain things on us is like the well, she talks about the hymen and all of that, and that's like it's actually put in place there if we were going to become a guy. It was supposed to be what divides the like well, the guy's tube for peeing and the tube for baby making. It's what divides that. And so it was put there just in case we became a boy. So that was like its only purpose. So it really doesn't serve any other purpose. And and any other like meaning we've given to it is like then put there like for religious purposes and things like that. I was like, whoa. Like she says, it's not really like your virginity. Like she goes, it has nothing to do with that at all. And anyway, so I found this fascinating, and I'm like not a whole sex ed type person. And like for me, I'm like reading this, like, really? Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my God, that's how my brain works. Oh my God. And I'm reading it aloud to my boyfriend, who normally he's like, I don't think he wants to hear about lady parts. And he's just like, he's kind of rolling his eyes, but then he's like kind of listening and he's asking me questions about it. So yeah, I got my boyfriend on board with this. So anyway, I just had to put that out there. I know it's not woo woo or anything, but I'm just really enjoying that book. Okay, yesterday at the party we went to for our friend's daughter's 8th grade promotion, I can't believe she's going to be in high school next year. Um, Christina says, sounds interesting, love science. Yes, it's really like funny, geeky science, and you're learning a lot. And it's like, oh my gosh, like it's putting it into terms like you can understand and not feel like this person doesn't speak my language. Like they speak your language. um, so anyway, it's my boyfriend's best friend, but she's, we've become friends as well. And she sent me home with some candles. She grew up in Boston. And so every now and then she goes home and she goes into Salem, where she likes to go into like her favorite shops, and she brings back tons of candles. And she's like, so I've got some candles from Salem if you want. And I was like, cool. So she got me the Ghost Repel candle. She's like, I know you talk to spirits all the time. She's like, but what if you're trying to go to sleep, And she says, obviously don't leave the candle burning while you're trying to go to sleep. But, like before you go to sleep, just like if you want to clear your room and be like, leave me alone while I sleep. She thought that one might be nice. She didn't know how I might want to use this one because I don't really get night terrors and I don't really have nightmares. I'm pretty in control of my nightmares now, which is pretty awesome. But she was like, hey, you try to use this however you want. So I thought that was cool. And then there's a little sage one. And this is Coven's Cottage. So she's going to be taking, like I said, my salves and my sprays to Coven's Cottage in Salem, Massachusetts, to see if they want to sell some of them there. And I thought that was kind of cool. Oh, and she put it in this cute little burlap bag. I thought was neat. So that was from our friend yesterday at the party. And then in the mail, a package in front of my door yesterday was this awesome Hello Kitty bag. It's got a zipper and everything. And there wasn't like a who it's from or anything because it was sent directly from Amazon. So I'm guessing that this is from my friend Jason, who he and I share the same birthday. He's also June 10th. And we met in college. Like he was my track buddy. He ran track too. He's really nerdy. I'm really nerdy. And we used to joke around. He would say, he says, technically I'm old enough to be your dad. And I was like, We were both born in 1981 on June 10th. How are you old enough to be my daddy's old? Because I was born an hour earlier. So we send each other, gifts on our birthday and Christmas and stuff. So I'm pretty sure this is from him. I sent him through Amazon an awesome shirt. Like I always get him like weightlifting stuff, and usually he gets me weightlifting shirts, but it has a barbell on it. And it says, what was it? School is good, but muscles are more gooder. Yeah, that was a shirt. School is good, but muscles are more gooder. So that's why I sent him. So, but he got me this Hello Kitty bag, I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna have to email him and let him know, hey, if you're wondering where the mystery shirt's coming from, that's from me. And then Steph, who's on the live chat here, sent me a package all the way from Belgium. And she sent me a little birthday package. I was so excited. Like this I opened up last night. I didn't really get a chance to get a good look at everything because I was super tired. But it's, let me pull this stuff out. I felt like a little kid. I was like, ah! There we go. Okay, so just to make it fancy, she put in this like nice little blue taffeta in there just to make it all fancy like, and I like that. Some of the wrapping paper, she wrapped some of it in like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like a little kid. And so that was fun. And so she wrote me a nice little personalized card. I won't show you guys the inside, but like, there you go. So yeah, I'm gonna put this up on my mantle with my other birthday cards. And then she had a chance to go to Paris. Retha is here. Thank you. Yes, to my Gemini sister. And from Paris, she knows that I love keychains and I love collecting keychains from, everywhere I travel. But since I haven't been able to go to Paris yet, and she did, look what she got. And it came in this little gold pouch, which was just so cute. And I'm trying to think now what kind of purse I could put this on. That is so cool. Oh, so yay! A little Paris keychain. And bam! Hello Kitty chapstick. Excuse me. Tammy's here. So she said happy birthday from another Gemini sister. We got a lot of Geminis in his house. We're about to take over the world. But yeah, so I was looking, I was like, oh, Belgium, Hello Kitty. So yeah, I'm totally gonna take this out and like put it in my purse and probably put my new little keychain. Try to figure out what purse to put that on. Retha said that she collects keychains. It's so cute. She's also Hello Kitty obsessed. Yes. And she loves the Hello Kitty chapstick. Yes. I've been Hello Kitty obsessed since, I think the earliest pictures of me wearing Hello Kitty, I was like 3 years old. So that's like, what, 1984? And then Steph got me a deck. I was like, oh, I hadn't even like heard of this deck, and I glimpsed it with my blurry, like tired eyes this morning. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And then I passed out. Hold on, get the, here's the backs, which are pretty like watery. Steph says, but in French. That's okay. I need to work on my French anyway. Yay, I love it, I love it, I love it. Like, it's so colorful. It's got bits and pieces of like Egypt in here. Like, woo. Maybe, okay, so maybe we'll pull like a card from here and a card from the Blessed Bee, and that'll be like our group cards today. I agree, they are stunning. Just, oh. I haven't looked through all of them. Like I said, I blearily looked at some of them in the dark before I fell asleep. Ooh, I like that one. Oh, Angel Rivera is here. He is asking what the title of this deck is. Let me pull up the title card. L'Orco du Monde. If you guys can see, yeah, L'Orco du Monde. And this is by Emile Dado. So cool, so cool. Ooh, I can't wait to work with this later. Like I'm like bouncing inside. Ooh. I like that there's just a blank card. I like there's the question mark card, there's the blank card. Oh my goodness. Steph, you are so awesome. Oh, okay, so see, Steph put the title up there for you guys and the author. Angel said, Oracle of the World. My French is rusty, but I think I can make that. Anyhow, very nice. Oh, happy early birthday. Thank you. Christina is saving for the Shakespeare Tarot and book. I have seen the Shakespeare Tarot, and Shakespeare is my homeboy. So I'm thinking about that one. Okay, and then I guess just a little bit about some of the cards and a little spread, like example reading. And then talking about in existence, there's a method or a specific method for consulting your cards. That's my poor translation. I think I translated that okay. And then it goes into like how this creator would consult these cards here. So cool. Thank you, Steph. And I haven't finished sending out all your videos on Viber. So Steph is my witchy sis across over in Belgium, and we both have the Viber app, which it's like free text messaging and calling if we wanted to, but you know, we're in such completely different time zones. We're like 9 hours apart. So when it's morning for her, it's really like nighttime for me and vice versa. So most every morning we wake up and there will be tons of messages from like each other. So I'll get, like this morning I had tons of messages and like pictures and stuff sent from her about her day, and she went about her travels, and it's like something, you know, really fun to look forward to. And you know, it's like having your best friend right here, even though she's many thousands of miles away. So I think that's awesome. And fingers crossed, she's trying to see if she can get out here to California so we can hang out for like a few weeks or a couple of weeks, and I think that would be really cool. And if she could do it during our meetup and be able to like meet you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are coming in for the meetup July 21st and 22nd. Oh my God, it's gonna be so awesome. Oh, so much to look forward to this summer. I'm so excited. Okay, it is now story time. Settle in, get your tea, your water, wherever you are, whether you're having dinner or breakfast or lunch. Morning Star is here. And mine are both today. Oh, wow. So thank you to all you guys. Like, I was talking about you guys, by the way, a lot at the party yesterday. I was like, and New Age Lunatic, I was talking about you too. And Steph, I was talking about you. Christina, I was actually talking about you too. I was like, oh my God, there's these like awesome people that hang out with me on like the live chats. And I'm so glad Morningstar is back. And because the people I was talking to, some of them, I mean, they're not like old. I mean, they're in their 50s. Like, that's not old. I mean, a couple of my sisters, my half sisters, they're in their 50s. So I'm like, they're like, what's a YouTube? I'm like, how do you not know what a YouTube is? And they're like, is it a store? Or I was like, okay, a YouTube is like videos people make, like people just like making videos, and it's like they make how-to videos, or they can make like little like TV shows, kind of, but it's on the internet, or movies, and like creative people can just like put stuff out there. I said, like, if you want to know how to do something, like, my toilet's broken. How do I fix a toilet? Like, I'm sure if you put how to fix a toilet in YouTube, like something's gonna pop up. And they're like, and this is free? And I'm like, yes. um, Tammy said she has to go. She's going to IHOP for pancakes for her birthday. Happy birthday! Oh my gosh, there are so many Geminis in the house. Christina says I'm 67 and I know what YouTube is. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, where are you guys hanging out? How do you not know YouTube? um, and then I was talking about like me and one of their daughters were talking, and she's like, oh yeah, and she says, do you do Patreon? She says, oh my god, do you have a Tumblr account? I was like, no, I don't have Tumblr. And I was saying, but I have Instagram. And we were talking, and like her parents were just like looking back and forth, and they're like, are you guys speaking English? You know, like, we're talking about social media, and they're like, social media. And they're like, we're putting the two words together: social, lots of people, media, a form of putting information out there. Okay, what is social media? And it's like, have you guys been living under a rock? So I explained the Instagram, I explained the YouTube, and and then once I showed them like one of my videos, everybody at the party subscribed. So I thought that was kind of cool. Let me go back here. Morning Star, Gemini Moon here. Okay, see, we got all these Gemini. Sherrybug says she has to represent the Pisces. Sherrybug, you and my dude represent the Pisces. Angel said, that is not bad as a certain college president. I will not mention who said, and I quote verbatim, use the Google to get the YouTube. That's awesome. Christina said she's Gemini, and so is her husband. Whoa, two Geminis in the house. Cray cray. Yeah, so okay, so then let's talk about the stories from yesterday. Okay. I'm gonna need some water because I'm still processing what happened yesterday. So I'm like, I'm trying to be like as upbeat as possible with you guys, but I'm like pretty drained because again, I'm tired, and then like I totally like just like zapped my energy yesterday, but I was like trying to help a lot of people, so it was fun. We had a good time yesterday. So I'm having my Kirkland signature Italian sparkling mineral water. Or in Italy, they would ask me if I wanted gas or no gas, with or without gas. Bubbles. Okay, where do we start with story time? Probably at the beginning. Okay, so our friend that was throwing the party, and I already asked everybody there, I was like, okay, Saturdays I do a live chat. Do you mind if I like tell all these stories? They're like, nah, go ahead. I mean, it's not like we're ever gonna watch the YouTube. They're like, we might jump on and try to like watch a couple of your videos, but so I was like, okay. So I have permission. So our friend that was throwing the party, by the way, I can't believe that her daughter is going to be a 9th grader next year. So it was her 8th grade promotion, along with her friends came over. And me and my boyfriend's friend was like, she says, I have a friend here, and we've met her before. She's really cool. She's like, I have a friend here who has some issues with her house. Like she told me, she's like, I told you about this like house before and how there's like some major problems, and I was wondering if you could clear the house. And as they were talking to me more about it, I said, because they only live like 4 doors down. Like I could literally walk to their house if I wanted to. And they live out in the middle of nowhere. So they live in a place called Marietta, which is with traffic 2 hours north of me, without traffic 1 hour north. We were in the 2 hours of traffic to get there, but coming back at like midnight, 1 a.m., it was only 1 hour of traffic. And so, most of the house there, that's pretty new development. Like it started getting developed, like early 2000s. So it's not an old community at all. But all the homes are built on Pachanga ground. Pachanga is another tribe of Indians that, is native to this area. Like the area that I'm in is the Kumeyaay Indians, and so if you go farther north, that's Pachanga. So she's telling me about what's going on with this home, and I'm like, I can clear a home, but it seems like there's a lot more going on in your home. Like I can't just walk over there right now with like a bundle of sage and just like clear your house. Like I think it needs a little bit more preparation. Um, and so I said, I'm gonna check in your house right now. And she said, oh, do you want to walk on over? And I said, no, I can, I can. I said, I don't really know how to describe it, but I can just put myself somewhere if I need to. I said, so you can keep talking. We can keep talking. I said, but mentally, I'm over in your house right now. And she's like, oh, okay. I said, so I'm going to talk to whatever's over there. So let me lay the foundation of what has been going on in her home. Okay. Most of all the homes that they've been moving to have had issues, but this home has had the most issues. And they bought the home right after the stock market crash back in '08. And so it was really cheap at the time. I think they said they got it for like 270,000, which for California is pretty good, like really good. And it was the last house because all these like real estate development places were buying up all the cheap homes because people were getting foreclosed on, so that they could flip them and make a ton of money later. And so, them being just a family and not a big company, they were able to purchase this home and they were so excited, but they had to buy it as is, and it was totally like, the couple that got foreclosed on was going through a nasty divorce. She says when you walked in, there was feces like all over the walls. When they left this home, she says in like black tar, there was like pictures like of like people all over the walls and on the cabinets, like this nasty viscous black tar. And she says, and there was like black tar footprints, like little footprints, like all over the walls and the ceiling. Like it was really trippy. And then they found money buried all over the backyard with like bones and like coins and things like that. Like she thought it was, and it was all in euros, and she thought that was really strange. Um, and she says, so they got it all cleaned up, and they've been having issues with all their animals because they had rabbit, they have dogs, they have cats. And she says, and one of their rabbits, like she says, every time we come home, like we leave for something, we come home, something bad happens. And she says, like, we've had a flood in the house 3 times already. Like I come home and water's like literally just pouring out. The toilets flush themselves sometimes, and then they'll break. She says one of the rabbits killed itself, and she was really upset about that. One of her dogs ate its own foot, and she had to stop it from trying to eat itself, which I was really confused. And so right now it's still healing from that. It's got a cone around its neck, but she says sometimes when you come home, the cone is completely ripped off. And she says, and of course, the dog is, you know, they have to stop the dog. She says the cats sometimes will just be sleeping and all of a sudden they wake up and just go crazy and start like trying to claw them. And normally they're not like that. Like they will scratch them in the face. And she says, and people sometimes like we get scratches and we don't know how we get scratches. Like she says, and everything is in like threes, like it's 3 scratches like everywhere. Like she says, and she just got 3 scratches on her face a few days ago, but they wake up with scratches. And she says, and so they had one of their Mexican friends come over, and she said, let's recite the Lord's Prayer, like maybe we could do that. So she was praying, and she says, and all of a sudden you hear this loud pounding in the walls, like the house started pounding up and downstairs, just like pounding, pounding, pounding. And they were freaking out, and they were like, this house is like freaking poltergeist, like seriously. And she's like, even her husband was like, what the hell is going on, and he's from Greece, she's Russian, but they have a house in Mexico, and then they have a house here. And they were just like, oh, it's like all this craziness, and they said around Easter time they were having like goat, like they were making goat, I guess, for Easter. Like I've never had goat and probably don't want to, but she was like, yeah, we were making goat. And she says, and one of their dogs jumped into the fire and like tried to kill itself. And she says, and eventually they had to put that dog down because it had third-degree burns. And and she was like, and just like our animals are trying to kill themselves, they're trying to hurt themselves, and the vets think that we're doing it, and we're not doing it. Like, we would never try to hurt our animals. And she's like, and I don't know what to do because we've moved so many times, and now it seems like things have just gotten so bad in this house. And she says, and oh, one of her youngest daughter, who's like 14, feels like there's somebody staring at her all the time, and staring at her when she's in the shower, staring at her when she sleeps. And she says they're just so freaked out. The oldest daughter doesn't really live there anymore because she's graduated from college. So sometimes like she visits, but she's really freaked out. And so she lives in their house in Mexico. Um, and so they said, so when they were at this party, the mom kept asking the oldest daughter to go and check on the house because she says every time we come home, something bad happens. There's a fire, there's a flood, our animals are trying to kill themselves. Like, she says, she says they had brought back somewhere in Mexico, they got like a thing of holy water, and they were going to try to bless the inside of the house. And they put the holy water on the what do they say, the coffee table. And they said they started walking upstairs and they heard boom, this like loud boom. And they said, and it was like the bottle of holy water had exploded. Like, she says there was so much glass everywhere. And she says, and it just like, it exploded off the coffee table. And they were just like, what? Like, and she says, and things sometimes get tossed across the room and break. One of their china cabinets got pushed over. They've had a mirror shatter on its own, just standing there. And they're like, our house is seriously possessed. Like, she says, can you help me? And I'm like, well, I've never really dealt with that stuff before. And I said, but I said, okay. I said, I don't want to physically go over there right now because, like, I'm not prepared right now. And I told her, yeah, Christine, I was like, maybe you guys move. And she says, well, she's moving. She wants to move. She wants to stay at her house in Mexico. The husband won't leave though because his job is here. And so he's like, he'll visit on the weekends, but he's like, I like the house. And the wife's like, are you nuts? Like, and she says, and also there's a blood stain on the carpet that they can't get up. So she's thinking of just ripping out the carpet. But she's trying to get her husband to move down to Mexico with her in their other house. She's going to be taking the youngest daughter with her because she wants her to be fully immersed in Spanish so she can be bilingual and like have her or her high school experience in Mexico. So she's going to take the youngest with her. And so I was like, okay, I think to be safe, I'm going to tap into what's going on at your home from here. Like, I don't actually want to go into your home. No offense. I said, but I think it would be like irresponsible of me to just like walk over all willy-nilly, like, hey, what's going on over here? Because obviously there's something pretty drastic going on at your home, and it'd be pretty bad to just walk in blindly. Plus, I don't want to drag anything to my house. No offense. So I was like, okay. So I was tapping into her house, and this thing came forward, and it tried to be really scary looking. And I realized again, it was like that last house clearing I did, where it was a bunch of like little dark things that when it comes together forms like one consciousness, one big thing, and that's where it kind of derives its so-called power from. But what I was getting is it's not as powerful as they think it is. I think they give it a lot of power when really it's not. Like, it feeds off of them, and it feeds off of water, hence all the floods, and I always believe that spirit energy it's easier to use water as a conduit, which is why I think we have so much spirit energy here, because we live right by the reservoir. And they have a creek nearby as well. And so this thing is trying to scare me, and it's looking at me, and it's trying to look like, I guess, your stereotypical devil. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't scare me actually, because I'm like, there is no devil actually. There's no Satan. I was like, I don't really believe in you. I was like, so it's like it says chupacabras are real. Chupacabra is like in a like Mexican folklore, it's like this wolf dog thing known as like the goat sucker. Like it's supposed to like suck the blood of goats. And so it's going chupacabras are real. And it's like it says like, you know, I can come at you, and it says you better watch your back. Don't you help these people. You know, it says like, you know, I can give you nightmares beyond your, you know, worse than you can ever think. It says, so don't mess with me. And I was like, don't mess with me. And so it was kind of backing off, and so it was like I could see it was like it could see where it was, um, and it just kept telling me chupacabra, and I know that's not real. And so I'm telling the woman, I said, it's telling me chupacabra, and she went, oh my gosh. She says, for Easter, like we just got this inkling, like, oh, we should make goat. We've never made goat before, so like we did our own goat thing, and things started getting really crazy after that. And I was like, okay. And I said, okay, so it didn't really want to talk to me too much after that, because I think it knew that I'm not like intimidated by it. Because I'm like, I can see you for who you are, and you're a bunch of little things that, you know, you're just trying to be like a big scary thing, and you're not really that scary. I don't care if you come at me like Night of the Living Dead, like I don't believe in you. So then this actual spirit came through. Like I don't believe that thing that I was talking to was a spirit. I believe it was an energy, and it felt like it was an energy from the earth. Um, Christina said, "Can you sense the presence in my house?" I can probably try after story time, but I am pretty good at like I don't have to physically be somewhere for me to tap into somewhere. It's just something I kind of just learned how to do. But um, so this other spirit comes forward, and it's an actual spirit, and it's kind of scary at first because it did look like Night of the Living Dead, you know, like all decay, and it looked like a Native American girl, like a young girl, but like all like decayed. And I was like, whoa. And then she's like, no, 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 that's not me. And then she shows me her, and then she says, it's trying to make me scary. I'm not scary. Christina said it's been here for decades. Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely afterwards. Um, and so I get to talking to this girl, and she kind of tells me all that's going on. She says she felt comfortable talking to me, and I had my hair down when I was there, and I could feel her playing with my hair. And she says, "You have such pretty hair," and she goes, "I love your hair." And she says, "But I think you understand me, yes? Like you understand my story." She's like, "Please just hear me because nobody ever listens to me." And I was like, okay. And so I'm trying to figure out how this girl, because she's a young girl, a young Native American girl, is connected to this like pretty nasty thing. Um, so here's her story. She said, you know, she says she had passed away a long time ago, but it took her a while to figure out that she had passed away. Um, the only details she can give me is that her father, whom she hates, had molested her and had molested her little sister. And she says, and she at one point couldn't take it anymore. And she tried to stand up for her sister and to stop her father. Um, and she just kind of wound up dead. And she says, I don't really remember kind of how that happened. And she says, but after a while, I realized people weren't responding to me or talking to me because mostly she thought she had been outed by the village because her father had lied and had said basically, you know, that she was a bad girl. And she says, and she never got like a burial the way that her culture buries. And she says, so like, she says, there was nothing for me and I don't know where my body is. And she says, and she says, so she was very angry, of course, afterwards. And she never mentions her mom at all. And so I'm thinking that's, you know, the whole like not feeling protected by mom. So therefore, she probably didn't have that close of a relationship with her. So she says, of course, I was really angry. And I was angry that I was dead. And I was angry that, you know, everybody thought that I was a bad person and that it's all my fault. And she says, and I was angry at my dad, of course. And she goes, and I just had so much rage and anger. I'll bet her father is the evil presence. I'm so caught up in this story. Well, so she had all this anger. So then she said this thing showed up. showing itself to be like a friend. And she says, and this thing comes from the earth. And that's kind of what I was getting, was this thing is of the earth. It's not a, or it's an energy at least. It's not a person. It never was a person. And so she says this thing came along, and she says, and because I was alone, I felt like it listened to me, it knew me, it understood me. She goes, and I was angry, and it allowed me to be angry. And she says, and we were like powerful and angry together. She goes, and I wanted everybody to feel like how hurt I was and how betrayed I was. And she says, and I wanted to scare people. I wanted people to feel my pain. But after a while, she's like, I got over it. Like, I stopped being angry, and I was like, you know what? She says, I don't forgive my father at all. She says, but I just want to move to the next realm. I don't want to be here anymore. She goes, like, I'm tired of being angry. And she goes, I got tired of like scaring people and all that. And she goes, and at some point I'm like, I just want to go home. And she's like, I'm 14. And she says, I want to have a birthday and I want to go home. Like, that's all I want to do. She goes, she goes, go back to being a kid, and I just want to see the rest of my family. Like, she really wants to see her grandmother. That's what she kept saying. And I was like, okay. And so I said, what about this thing? And she said, it won't let me leave. And she says, it needs my spirit energy to like thrive on this plane, because you guys operate at a different vibrational frequency. She goes, it needs me to stay here. And she says, so I want to move on. I want to be with grandma. And she's like, but I can't. So I've been here for a really, really long time. And she says, and I just want to go home. And I was like, okay. And I'm like trying to think this, because I was like, I don't know how to send this girl home. And so I was like, okay. I said, but this thing won't let you leave. I said, if you did get to go home, how much uh how much could this energy stay here? And she said, it'd be pretty easy to get rid of if I wasn't here anymore. She goes, if I could move on, because it just needs me to be here. And she says, and she was trying to put stuff in like ways that I could understand. And she was like, okay, she says, what the family's telling you with the animals and everything is true. She says, but don't let this guy deceive you. He's not actually as powerful as he's made out to be. He derives his energy from me and the water here, she says, so that he can stay on this plane. Hence why like, she says, he helps along unfortunate circumstances. But basically, those things were gonna happen anyway, but they are attributing it to him and thereby giving him more power because they fear him. And she goes, he feeds off of hate, anger, fear. She goes, that's like, you know, good juice to him. She says, because he operates at those low vibrating emotions. She says, so anytime the family's ever been happy, something bad has really happened. They get scratched or something like that to totally like bring their mood back down. I said, oh, I see what's going on. She says, yeah, he doesn't want them to be happy because that hurts him. And I was like, hmm. And then she said, and the thing with the animals, okay, she goes, Batman, right? She goes, you remember the Batman movie with the Scarecrow character, who's like the psychologist? And she says, and the Scarecrow character would make the victims, drug them and make them think that they were seeing things that weren't actually there. It was like illusions. She says, so with the animals, he can create illusions only, not actually physically touching or hurting the animals, but create illusions to make the animals think that something's happening, and that's what makes them so upset and and do the things they do and hurt themselves. She goes, because it's an illusion. She goes, that's all he can do is make illusions, and animals are really susceptible to that because animals can see him and they're able to see that plane. And she said, so he can't actually hurt an animal. He can't actually hurt a person. He can't actually do any of that. Like, he's not that strong. And she says, but they think he is, and that's what gives him power. And I was like, And we say he, even though it doesn't have a gender, so we just say he. And so I was like, okay. And I said, what if I sent this thing love? And she said, oh, he would hate that. And then all of a sudden I was like, so I'm telling the people like everything that I'm hearing from this girl. About, I said, send it love. Like every time something bad happens, say, oh man, that sucks. But I send this bad situation love. I send this energy love. And all of a sudden I started getting heart palpitations because it was trying to get me to stop talking. It was like, like, no, don't, no. And so the family's like, send it love. Like, ugh. I was like, no, no, seriously, listen to me. Like, love is a really high vibe emotion. And I know it sounds cheesy because we always say like, I love you, but no, love is a really, really like up here emotion. And I said like true love. And I said, so if you send this thing love, it's like punching it in the face. I said, because it can't thrive on that frequency. It thrives on emotions that are at this frequency down here. And so as we were talking with my boyfriend standing next to me, there was a bag that was sitting in front of me. The bag got like kicked across the counter. And my boyfriend was like, uh, he had no words. And I was like, that was that. I said, it's trying to scare us right now because it doesn't like what I'm saying. I said, it's trying to hurt my heart right now, which it can only give me palpitations, which I can deal with. So, and I said, give it love. Seriously, I said, it's getting pissed off right now because it doesn't like love. Send it love. And they were like, oh my God. Like, is that it? Like, send it love? And I was like, oh, well, that's part of it. So, so when you go home, I want you guys, I don't know what religion you guys are. Like, you pray, however, whatever religion you are, you pray. You're Christian, Buddhist, Jewish, I don't know. Like, pray. And I want you to bring in all the people that you believe in. Like, if you believe in Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or whatever, you bring in those energies and say, please protect me, and protect my home. I said, you bring in all the high vibe that you can. I said, and they said, well, how do we help this girl move on? How do we separate these two things? So I was like, okay. So I asked her, I said, how do you want to go into the next realm or the next life? And she said, I want a birthday party. And she says, I've always wanted my 14th birthday party. And she says, and I tried to get her mind off of how she died and more into like, what other things did you used to like? And I said, well, what games did you used to play? And she went, well, I played a game that kind of looks like Highlight, and it's got like the thatched, like, I don't know what you call that thing that holds the ball and you throw it. And she says, and I also had like a little doll that somebody had given to her, and she felt like it was really special. And she said, I like dolls and I like that ball game. And she says, and that she was kind of a tomboy. She said she never went to school because there really wasn't school at that time. But she says, I know what school is and it looks really fun. She says, it's just not really at her time. She says, um, and she was like, I'm kind of a tomboy, and I kind of just help the women in the village. I used to collect like sticks and stuff like that. I used to go by the creek, and I used to bring, that's kind of what my job was back then. But that's all she could really remember and tell me. And I was like, okay. I said, so you want a birthday party? And she said, yes, I want a birthday party and I want white roses. And she says, because to me, whites is like, they haven't been touched. They're pure. And she goes, I just want to see something so untouched, so pure. So she's like, I want white roses. And she's like, call me Rosalie or Rosalinda. And I was like, okay. So we're calling her like Rose or Rosalinda. And she wants these white roses, and she just wants a birthday party, and she wants like a couple of toys. And she's like, if they could just set aside a place, maybe not on the property, but a place that could be designated as her, as like her grave, even though there's no body, that, maybe just leave flowers there every now and then and just acknowledge that she's there. And she says, so for the party, invite me. Let's have fun. She goes, I want to hear music. Like, I want everybody happy. And she says, and then when the party's over, she goes, I feel like my soul can move on. She goes, because I just want to be acknowledged, and I just want, and she goes, and I feel like that's how I can move on. And I said, okay. And she says, oh, and tell the family when they see the red-tailed hawk, my spirit has moved on. She goes, in my culture, the hawk is spirit. And she says, and that will be me. And I was like, okay. And so I'm telling this to the woman, and she's like, whoa, Okay, by our car, every now and then we'll see a ball roll out the house to our car. She goes, because we're like, what is it? This thing likes to play with the ball. And I'm like, no, it's not the thing, it's her. And she's like, and I have a doll collection in one of my rooms. And I noticed that my dolls keep getting played with. And I'm like, oh my God, that's her. Like, and so she's like, I thought it was the thing. She goes, I had no idea that there was two energies there. And I said, yeah, it's the little girl. And, and she said, you're going to find this to be trippy. She says, but her youngest daughter was supposed to have her 14th birthday party last week, but because of an unfortunate event, they weren't able to have the party. And so she's like, and I was like, well, this girl wants her 14th birthday party. So why don't you celebrate it in conjunction with your daughter's 14th birthday party? And she said, and she wanted to talk to me in private. And she was like, those things that you were saying happened to that girl. There were some unfortunate things that happened to my younger daughter as well. Obviously not with her father or anything, but she's like, so I'm thinking she's attached to my youngest daughter because they have so many things in common. And maybe that's why all of this is happening. And she says, but how do I truly get this girl to move on? Like, is she just going to disappear and go into the light? And I said, well, whoever you trust, like a deceased family member, I don't know, Jesus, Archangel Michael, Buddha. I said, try to bring that energy forward and just out loud tell the girl that I'm bringing this energy in. I trust them. Please hold their hand and let them walk you to the light. And I said, I found that to be a really effective way to have spirit go to the light, or towards the light. I said, because sometimes it scares them because they're not really sure like what that is or if what they're supposed to do, like, because not everybody knows what to do when they see a light. It might scare them. I said, so you could help her along that way. And I said, and then after that, I can clear your house. I said, because it will no longer, that thing that's there will no longer have that little girl to hold on to. I said, it won't have a leg to stand on, basically. And I said, and that's when I come in and kick its ass. I said, so we helped this little girl who unfortunately has had to stay on this plane for way too long. Yeah, I said, we can do that. And she says, this is like freaking me out. She says, when you talked about school and how much she loves school, she goes, we live across a freaking school. She goes, she sees school kids every day. And I was like, oh my God, like, because she's like confirming everything I'm saying, I'm like, oh my God. And she said she also had a friend who's, connected to spirit and stuff. She says, told us that she thought that there was something to do with Native American energy. And she thought that there was an energy that was also coming from the earth. And I was like, so that was tripping me out. So I was like, so yeah. And she said, oh, and also another thing, she goes, every time I put flowers in the house, within a day, they're dead. And I said, well, that makes sense because whatever's in that house sucks energy. And I said, and so I would believe that flowers wouldn't live very long. And she says, and I've thought of putting, she goes, I love the color purple. And I was like, ooh, I'd love to put like purple roses or red roses in the house, and that'd be wonderful. She goes, but then in the back of my head, I keep hearing white roses, and I couldn't figure out why. And I was like, oh my God. I said, yeah, that's because she wants white roses. White roses are pure. I said, yeah. I said, how bad does that suck? I said, nobody gets to really hear your story. You leave this earth in like the most ghastly way. And you're made out to be this bad guy. I said, and then because you're vulnerable and you're just a kid, this other thing comes and takes advantage of you and then makes you out to kind of be a bad guy again when really you're not. I was like, and the little girl was saying that since then, because she says energy is cyclical, she said that once the house was like built, or she goes, or people that have lived in that area have basically played out her life. She goes, so much anger, so much hatred, bad things happening to like young girls. And she says, and it's like my energy was playing out my life over and over again. And she goes, and it's like, she says, the worst feeling in the world when you watch your life played out in front of you for, she goes, I don't know how many, she says, I can't tell you when I lived, like I don't know the year, like she says, but it's been a long time, just know that. And I was like, okay. Okay. So I think this party is taking place next week. The mom has decided she's already going to plan it. She's going to call it the Rose Party. And it's going to be her youngest daughter's 14th birthday party. And it will be for this young girl who we'll call Rosalinda. And she's going to make sure that there's tons of flowers, that there's tons of kids, tons of white flowers, white roses, tons of kids. And she's like, and I will go out and I will buy one of those plastic highlights, from, the toy store. And she says, and I'll buy her a little doll. And she goes, yeah, we'll find a really nice place to kind of set up as like her memorial. And she says, yeah, we'll invite her to the party. She's like, I'm all on board with this. Like, she's like, she says, because everything is so relevant to like what you're saying, like it all makes sense. She goes, I'm more than happy to help this little girl finally, move on to wherever she needs to move on to. So I was like, okay. And she says, and then after that, can you clear my house? And I was like, you got it. I was like, but let's get this girl to safety first. And then we can deal with the shithead that's in your house. So yeah, so there was that. And then I'm like, whew, so I had to get something to eat and something to drink, and I need something to drink right now. Whew, I'm like sweating away. So then, talking to our friend that was throwing the party, because I kept telling her, oh my gosh, there's so many spirits in your house, but it seems like they're all happy. And she says, oh, the one spirit I wish was here was my dad, because our friend, her dad died a few years ago, and she really misses him. And and in her witchy practice, she's always trying to contact him. But she says, I can contact like anybody in my family, but I just can't contact my dad. And let me see. Sherry Bug said, I can't wait to hear the updates. Me too. I was like, keep me updated. And Steph's asking if he's gone. The other thing is not gone. Like, we need to throw the party for the girl first. Then I'm going to go up there and do a mega house clearing. And I'm bringing a lot of guides with me. So anyway, so I decided, while I'm talking to ghosts at this party, I might as well try to contact my friend's dad. But I wasn't really letting her know. So she was off doing whatever. And so I'm like sitting there, and people are talking to me. And I'm just like, the whole time I'm just like, and I don't know what her dad looks like or anything. I never met her dad. So I was like, can you show up? Are you here? She's actually pretty depressed, and it would be nice if like you give a sign or something like that. And then this energy showed up, not really in a form I could see. Like, I could see his energy was pretty weak. So he was just talking to me in like images and like stuff I could hear. And so he shows me Barbie Dream House, and then I hear in 1974, Barbie Dream House, 1974. And I was like, okay. I was like, is that something that like she can understand? And like, it just repeats like Barbie Dream House, 1974. And I keep seeing the Barbie Dream House. And I was like, okay. So I go over to her, and I was like, oh, you know how you said you wanted to contact your dad? I said, your dad's here. I said, he never left. I said, so if you're like, wondering if he's like not here, he's always with you. And she was like, oh my gosh. She was like, it may not be my dad. I mean, she's like, I tried contacting my dad. And I was like, no, Barbie Dream House, 1974. And she was like, and she started crying. And I was like, did I say something wrong? And I felt really bad. And she started hugging me. And she was like, no. Nobody knows about that except my dad and my sister. And I'm like, knows about what? And she's like, it's so stupid. She said, when I was little, back in 1974, she goes, I had what was kind of like a Barbie dream. It was like the camper and like Barbie stuff. And she says, and it's like the Barbie house that I had. And she goes, my sister peed in it. And she says, because little sisters can be rotten. And she goes, my little sister peed in it, and she peed in the camper. And I was so upset. And she goes, and I ran to my dad, and I was like, she peed in. And she was like, it was 1974. And she was like, and I never told anybody that story. She goes, but I have always been pissed about it because my total, like, it was ruined after that. She goes, and my sister sat on it and like broke it. And I was like, oh. And she says, you really are talking to my dad. And I was like, he's stomping the floor. I just see brown shoes stomping the floor. And she said, oh, well, that's not possible. Towards the end of his life, he lost his legs. And I said, well, then that's probably why he's stomping the floor. I said, he has his legs. He's fine. I said, no need to worry about him anymore. And she was like, oh my God. And she started crying again. And I was like, I hate for you to cry at your daughter's party. I said, I'm trying to make you feel good, not sad. She's like, no, I'm so happy I'm crying. And she was like, you don't know how long I've been trying to talk to his ghost. And she says, and I just wanted a sign that my dad was around. She's like, because I loved him to bits. And I was like, he's not really a talkative guy, is he? And she went, no. He was a man of few words, but when he did speak, it meant something. And I was like, okay, so that's why he doesn't really talk. He just kind of shows stuff in symbols. I was like, was he a tall guy, like a big guy, curly hair? And she went, yeah, he was 6'4". And I was like, how did you grow up to be like 4'10"? She's like, my mom was 5'11", my dad was 6'4", I'm 4'10". So I thought that was pretty funny. And so she's like, do you want to see some pictures of him? So I was like, sure. So she showed me some pictures. I was like, not really young, but once I saw the older pictures, I was like, that's the guy. That's the guy I'm talking to. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she said, she was talking about when he passed, that she was there. And I said, because she was talking about being really traumatic. And I said, the only thing I hear your father saying is that that if you didn't physically watch him pass, you wouldn't have believed it because you are the person that you are. And she was like, that's true. And then she said, that he was like a fighter and things like that, and that he actually had passed away 3 times before finally passing away. Green Owl's here. Hey, thank you. And then I said, well, I'm getting a symbol of like a giant anchor being dragged across the ground that was like, you better, if you're gonna take me, you better take this giant anchor. And she was like, oh my God, he was in the Navy and he had a big anchor tattoo and it said, don't tread on me underneath it. And I was like, then that's your dad. And she was like, okay. She says, I don't drink Budweiser. She says, but I keep Budweiser in the fridge because it was my dad's favorite beer. And so she says, kid, I mean, you probably don't like Budweiser. She said, but could you take a sip of Budweiser? And I just want to see if that does anything. And I was like, okay. So she cracked open like an old school like Budweiser red lager, and I took a sip, and I was like, I can feel like a guy just like sitting back in the chair after a long day, and like doing the like a and I said, and then belching, laughing, but then totally straight face, like, what? That wasn't funny, And she was like, he used to do that. And I was like, okay. So in honor of her dad, I finished the beer, even though I'm not a huge Budweiser fan, but I was like, I'll do it for your dad. So I had a Budweiser while I was there. Yeah, so I was really happy to contact her dad. After that, I kind of felt his energy like start to pull away. So I didn't want to force him to be there. But I did tell him, because his energy was so weak, I said, hey, if you need to draw from my energy, I got a lot of it, so you go ahead. But it was making me a little dizzy. And I think his spirit understood that. So after a while, after he thought he got his messages across, that just to let her know, hey, I'm here. And his other message was for her daughter. Like, he's here today mostly because it's a pivotal time. She's going to start high school next year. But he wanted to let his daughter know to lay off his granddaughter a little bit. He's like, she's going to be fine. Just let go a little bit. And she's like, no, mommy does not let go. I said, just a little bit. He says, you're holding on a little tight. And he said, you always were his naughty kid that he used to spank your butt all the time. And she goes, oh, I was the naughty one. And she goes, he used to spank me all the time. And then she was like, oh my God. She was like, thank you. Like, you really are talking to my dad. And I was like, whoa, because sometimes you think it's just all happening in your head, but when the person's like literally telling you that what you're saying is true, I was like, whoa. Like, I was shocked too. So then after that, I needed to decompress. I was like, whew, too many ghosts today. I was like, I need to eat, I need some water. And then one more story for the end of the night. So then, end of the night comes before we leave. The woman whose house I'm gonna come back to and clear after the birthday party, um, she's complaining that her head hurts. And she says, can you do that little body scan thing that you do to see what's going on? And I said, sure. So I'm like scanning her head. And I said, on the left side, I see a yellow spot. To me, that means like a problem, but not really a big deal. Christina said, no wonder you're tired today. I'm like, um, and she was like, oh my God, I'm going in for an MRI next week. She goes, is it bad? She says, because she's had a couple of brain tumors already, but they were benign. And then I said, well, no, this one seems, whatever's going on is benign. I said, red to me is like emergency. Yellow is like, it's like no big deal. And she was like, well, that's scary because it's my brain. I was like, well, I don't want to like scare you. I'm telling you, you're going to be fine. You can come back and like hit me upside my head, but I was like, trust me, you're going to be fine. And she's like, okay, excuse me. And she says, she says, I don't know if you know this, but she says, I'm Russian. I'm from Russia. And she says, and I was in that big Chernobyl accident. Like a lot of us in Russia are affected by that Chernobyl thing. Hence why I have all the tumors that I keep getting. And she goes, it's left over from Chernobyl. And I was like, oh, wow. I didn't know that. And so I was like, okay, I could try. I was like, I could try at least alleviating your pain a little bit. I said, I'm going to try, I'm trying to heal in a different way. I said, do you mind if I try on you? She's like, no, go ahead. I mean, I got a splitting headache. She's like, if you could just like help a little bit. So I was like, okay. So she relaxed and I was like, I won't touch you or anything. But I will be behind you kind of near your head. I said, but I just won't physically touch you. She's like, nah, touch me if you need to. Like, it's fine. She's like, my head hurts. And I was like, okay. So before I get started, I'm trying to pull up energy. So she's chatting away with my boyfriend and her husband and her daughters off to the side, and I'm sitting in the chair just like pulling up energy. So I'm pulling like earth energy, and it's like going through like my earth star chakra, and it's like going up my right leg that I've been using lately, the chakra in my right leg, coming up through my heart, and I'm like pulling it into my hands, and I'm just like pulling. And the husband says, look above Tara's head. And so we looked above, and our friend's house, she just bought these blown glass bulbs that are called witch balls. And so they were all over in there. And he says, of all the balls that are hanging up there, he goes, the one above her head is spinning. And so there was a red ball above my head, and it was indeed spinning. And I was just like, but I couldn't really focus on it because I'm trying to pull up energy. So I was like, whoa, that's cool. But I'm just like, pulling. And then I was like, okay, I said, let's go to work on your head. And then the husband said, holy shit, look at the whole roof. And so all the witch balls were spinning, but the bird feeder that was hanging from the same beams and another like decorative thing that was hanging from the same beams, totally fine. There wasn't any wind, but all the balls were spinning. I have never seen that before, by the way. I mean, but I didn't really have time to focus on it because I was trying to help her. But I took note of that as being very interesting. So then I'm just like, whoa. And the husband was like, I'm going to go inside. And my boyfriend's like, that's interesting. I'm going to go inside too. So they left us out there. So I'm like, doing this whole thing, and then I start feeling my legs getting hot, and I'm like pulling like red hot energy like from my root chakra. I'm like pulling, and she's like got her head back and she's laying, and I guess she happened to look up, and she was like, Tara, look at the witch balls now. She says only the red ones are spinning. Like, it was so weird. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I'm like trying to work on her, and so I'm like working, and all of a sudden it felt like my core was getting cold, and my teeth started chattering, and I felt icy cold, but my legs were on fire. Like, it was really weird. And I'm calling in like Ganesha to help me remove obstacles. And then I was like, I just hear 1995, and she says that's the year when we came to America from Russia. And I was like, okay. I was like, you have an animal guide that's a duck. And she went, oh my God, I love ducks. She goes, I love those Aflac commercials with like the geese and the ducks. And she says, I've always had a connection to ducks. And I was like, well, your duck animal guide is here. So I thought I'd just let you know while I'm fixing your brain. So then I was like, trying to pull out and trying to pull out, and it was like really difficult, and I put like tons of like pink and white light around us because there was more curious spirits that were coming in, but I didn't want them to interfere, so I was like, hey, just like back off while I'm like trying to help my friend here. So I'm, and this was like kind of new to me, like this way of doing energy. So I'm like, you know, pulling and pulling and pulling, and she says she could feel like something pulling, like wait, it was left side, yeah, something pulling here. And then all of a sudden, like my cheek started twitching here, and I said, are you feeling pressure behind your left eye? And she said, why, yes I am. And I was like, okay. I was like, because I'm starting to feel what you're feeling. And I was like, but I'm making sure it doesn't stay with me, so I'm trying to do a lot of things at once here. And so then what looked like a shattered test tube, like I was pulling, like what it felt like was pulling like a test tube or a cylindrical thing out of her head. And she was like, oh my God, ow, ow, ow. And she goes, it feels like you're pulling something from my sinus cavity, like out my head. And I was like, that is indeed what I'm doing. I said, if I'm hurting you, like I'll stop. And she went, no, it's like relieving pressure right now. I said, oh, okay. Okay, I was like, I'm removing what looks like a test tube. And she's like, that's really weird. I was like, yeah, it is. So I can't explain that to you guys because I don't know what that was. But I pulled it and I got rid of it. And then I just filled her with like light and you know, love and goodness and things like that. And then she's like, I still feel like my head hurting a little bit. She says, but like this side is okay. She goes, like, it felt like there was 3 things and you pulled one of the things. And she was like, but it like relieves so much pressure. And she's like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. So she was feeling better after that. So I was like, oh, that's good. And so I'm starting to calm down. She's like, oh, I'm just dreading going home because, you know, my house is like, every time I go home, something crazy is happening. It's like, are we having another flood? Are the freaking walls pounding? Is, you know, what's going on? And I was like, let's give you a good night's sleep tonight. I was like, give me your left hand. I said, that's your receiving hand. And I was like, and she's like, okay. So I like just grabbed her hand and I just like felt her, like I was pumping like all the love that I have in the world to like, I was just pushing it into her. And she was like, woo, she says, I'm getting this like light feeling. She goes, all I can feel is it feels like light. It feels like sunbeams. And she goes, that's the only way I can describe the feeling. It feels like the sun. And she's all like, you're filling me. And then when I was all done, she started to fall asleep. And she was like, oh my God, I am so relaxed. She goes, I need to go home right now. Like, I'm going to fall asleep right here. And I was like, okay, good. I said, I was trying to calm you down. And I was like, so now you're going to go home, get right into bed. You're going to have a good night's sleep and you're not going to worry about anything. I was like, no, there are no monsters. And I was like, and all you have is a beautiful home and you have a wonderful bed. You have a fantastic husband, a couple of beautiful daughters, and you're just going to lay down and go right to sleep. And she's like, okay. And so she like grabbed her husband. She's like, honey, I gotta go home now. I'm falling asleep. And he was like, okie dokie. And then I said, I gave her some sleepy medicine via energy. And he's like, okie dokie then. He's like, hey, thanks for all you've done for our home. You know, I mean, come back anytime. And he says, clear it out when you can. I was like, okay. So yeah, so then I came home and I was very tired. Got home 1 a.m. This morning, when I was getting ready to do the live chat, my ohms paused again, which means like spirits kind of playing around. So I just kind of saged the house a little bit. I don't think I brought like anything with me. I think there's a lot of energy with me. So I just kind of had to bring my own house's energy just back down a notch. And so I think my house feels fine again. The ohms are playing again. So yeah, so that was my night. What did you all do on your Friday night? So yeah, I am like totally, yeah. So I think today I'm not really gonna be like working with spirit today and stuff because I'm a little too tired energetically, just because it was like I was gosh, how long was I doing? I was doing that from like 3 p.m. to like midnight last night. I was working with like spirit and I was trying to heal people and yeah. Christina said my life is boring. Sherry Bug had Friday night at the weight room. A. So yeah, that was my Friday night. So anyway, I thought you guys might enjoy those stories. I mean, I need to go write that down because like I'm still like replaying last night in my head, and I was just like, whoa, because that's the first time I've done something like that for so long, where I'm like, I was like open to spirit, and I was just like communicating. Oh, you need some healing? I'll heal you. Like, I mean, so thank you for sharing. You're very welcome. New Age lunatic needs to lay down after that. Like, no kidding. Like, I need to probably take a nap today. But yeah, I'm excited for my birthday tomorrow, and coincidentally, one of my best friend's birthdays is also tomorrow. My grandfather, my Filipino grandfather, who I never met, his birthday is also tomorrow. Steph said, now a good nap and a good walking. Yes. And my boyfriend and I are going to go eat at Tip Top, which is my favorite like German restaurant. Their food is like so good. Like if I ever went to Germany, I'd come back like 100 pounds heavier because I love German food so much. So I'm gonna go have a nice German breakfast. We're gonna go up to Carlsbad for that, and then after that we're gonna hit up the San Diego Fair because right now the fair is going on, and the theme of this year's fair is how sweet it is. So everything is supposed to be like unicorn food and rainbow colored and like sweet, and so I was like, yes please. So we'll go do that, and then we're gonna go eat at the Corvette Diner, and I'm gonna use my birthday coupon for my free sundae and my free meal. And so yeah, just have a kind of a fun birthday. Steph says she wants pictures. I'll definitely send pictures. Sherry Bugs, remember the Fragile Bat, Knight of Pence you read for me? Yeah, I do. I found out he had MS. He went into the hospital, decided he can't focus on anything but his health, and pushed me away. Oh, wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that about your friend. Let's see. Today, okay, unfortunately, I don't think I have the juice to pull a card for each of you guys today, but I'll pull one general card, and then I'm gonna do like one healing, and then I think that's all I got. That's all I got. I'm sorry. I'm kind of spent from yesterday. But yeah, Sherry Bug, I would like to send some good stuff to your friend, because I was thinking about him, after that reading. And New Age says, wishing you so much love on your birthday, and you'll have a wonderful day with all unicorn food. Oh my gosh, yes. So yeah, that's just gonna be my birthday tomorrow. I'm going to try to vlog my birthday. I've never done a vlog before. I'm not sure how much is supposed to be in a vlog. I think it's supposed to be like when you wake up, and it's supposed to be kind of throughout your day. I don't know if you guys want to look at me when I'm fresh out of bed, because my hair is kind of cray cray and I got all kinds of sleep in my eyes, and I'm like, hey. But hey, I mean, if you guys want to see me first thing in the morning vlogging, hey. So yeah, I think I'll vlog my birthday tomorrow. I don't know, I think it would be fun. Sherry Bugs, I know your birthday is gonna be amazing. I don't know why I'm always excited for my birthday, but for some reason 37 feels like it's gonna be like, I'm just so excited. I'm just really excited for 37, and I feel like there's so many changes and so much. It's a knowing, like, you have a lot to look forward to, and that there's a lot of good stuff happening. I also know that I just know that there's going to be a lot of a big change coming that maybe will not sit with me very well at first, but I know it's going to be for my own good, and I know it's going to be beneficial in the end. I just kind of know. So I'm kind of looking forward to all this. Green Alice said, hashtag woke up this way. I wish I woke up like this way, all showered and Amy said, have a great birthday. So she's checking out. Well, you have a wonderful day, Ayami. Great owl. 3 plus 7 is 10. Ooh, 10 is a 10 is good. Oh, 10 is endings. Endings, but new beginnings. Oh, that's muy interesante. Sherry Bug said late 30s. Yes. Hashtag late 30s are awesome. New Age Lunatic said late 30s are a great time for realization. I think I believe that too. Sherry Bug said she tried to send healing for the first time a few days ago and got a sharp pain in the middle of her forehead. Um, the first few times I tried to do healings, I started getting like sharp pains in places. And I think that's just, I just didn't quite know how to work with my own energy yet. So I don't think that that's bad in any way because I've gotten like little pins and needles and like I'll get a sharp pain in my pinky, which in acupuncture, I've asked my acupuncturist, my friend, what does this mean like here? And she says when I put a needle here, it's directly related to your heart. Like this is the heart here. And so when I get sharp pains here, it's here. So I'll ask her what this is, although I'm thinking third eye. Um, but yeah, I'll ask her about here. But usually the sharp pains mean something. Um, and definitely through my acupuncturist eyes, she can see that. Um, and so I don't think that that pain is bad in any way. It's just you trying to figure out how to use your energy. And so for me, I'm still obviously in a learning process. I'm still figuring out like what works for me, what do I like, what do I see working well. I think I've made a breakthrough kind of working with that lady last night. Um, and definitely I've never had things spinning above my head before. That was like pretty cool. So I know that there was really something going on, physically moving objects. Like that's pretty cool. So I know that I was on the right path, but I know I can do more and I know I can do better. So just like anything, working out in the gym, it's all practice and seeing what works for you. Sometimes when people are working out their backs and trying to get like big strong backs, for some people pull-ups is just not for them. For some people it's doing rows, and for me, that's how I look at things, because I look at things from a muscle like weight lifting perspective. So I'm like, okay, so it's like working out in the gym, although I'm in a spiritual gym. How do I work my energy and what's working? What do I feel was kind of like, maybe I can cast it off to the side. So Sherry Bug, I encourage all of you, like, try to work with your energy, like work small. Like if you guys have animals, like like I have Wally, I'll try to like, put my hands on his pink tummy or on his back and I try to send him love, like love energy. And I look at how he responds to it and how do I respond to it? How do I feel? And I think that would be good for all you guys because I don't think that there are just some people who are born, well, I think there are people that are born with like some really good talents, like Olympians, okay, born with talent, but they still have to work really hard at what they're doing. Then I think there are people that aren't born Olympians, but they can work pretty damn hard and get pretty darn far. So I think that all of you have the gift and all of you can be fantastic healers and all of you can be a light in this world. You just have to find out what works for you because we're all different people and we all work differently. So yeah, hey, that's your homework for this week is start working with energy and start feeling your own energy if you haven't done so already. Probably a lot of you have. But yeah, and if you don't have animals, go out to a tree, go out to some plants and like just you know try your energy out. How can you feel the energy of the plant? Put energy into the plant, and just kind of see how that works. So there we go. Energy, that's the healing energy is the theme of the week. Pixie Dust is here. Hey. Christina said maybe I could heal my dog's bad leg. Hey, I mean there's no hurt in trying. I mean obviously keep working with the vet, but I would say give it a go. um, Always try, especially when there's love and intention behind it. Green Owl was talking about to Sherry Bug her chakra activation. And then Sherry Bug said, makes sense. Maybe I have to try from a different place, like how you send from your heart. Yeah, for me, how I work is just from my heart. Like that's just how I found that it works for me, but I'm still figuring stuff out. But I do know that I like working from my heart, but I'm also trying to figure out like how to move everything else but still have it come through my heart, because I feel like this is for me what works best for me, but I'm trying to figure out like, okay, what else can I do that works with that so that I can make more of a difference. um New Age Lunatic said, I think everything has to come from heart center. It comes from her as well. Steph, it is so late for you. Oh my gosh, you need to go to bed. She said she's leaving, she's going to bed. Thank you for all you shared. We'll listen to your messages tomorrow. Wish you a happy birthday. Thank you. And I'll send you some messages today, so be prepared to wake up to those in the morning. Okay, I'm gonna have some more water because I am like running a little low on gas here. Okay. Whew. Okay. I want to pull a general card. Like I said, I apologize. I just don't have the energy right now to do a card for everyone. So it'll just be like one general card for all of you guys, and then I'll put one like energy push out there, one healing energy push, and just the intention is it goes to who needs it, you know. So yeah, we'll do that. Pixie Dust said it's my homegirl's birthday tomorrow. Woo woo. Yes, it is. I am so excited. And Pixie Dust, I told everybody, I promise I'm going to try to do my very first vlog tomorrow. So I will vlog my birthday. And per Green Owl's request, hashtag woke up this way. I'm going to be, you guys will get to see me early in the morning. Sherry Bug said, have you tried any herbs in your water for recovering, like spiritual Gatorade? I was thinking of my herbs this morning, and actually like, what herb was it I was thinking of? Jasmine, which is my favorite flower. So I was thinking of making myself a little jasmine tea after I get off this live chat. I just really feel like I need jasmine. So I was like, and I try to use my herbs intuitively. So I'm like, okay, maybe my body needs some jasmine. So yes, jasmine right afterwards. Okay, Okay, I'm going to give you guys a choice between the two decks to pull. It's just going to be one card for everyone because I'm low on the juju. Sherry Bug's heard of jasmine and ginger is lovely. Ooh, I have some dried ginger too. I love ginger. New Age Lunatic said fingers are buzzers. Okay, would you like, and we'll go by vote, the L'Oracle du Monde or Blessed Be? So it's just going to be one card for the whole group. So not one card for everyone, just because I physically don't think I can do that today. Okay, so Pixie Dust, we have one for Blessed Be, one for the world. Blessed Be. Okay, so it's gonna be, so it's two for Blessed Be, one for the world, three for Blessed Be. Do. Is that all? Is it gonna be the Blessed Be? Going once, going twice. Sold to the awesome new deck. Blessed Be. Yes, Green Owl, you want the world. That makes me think of, you remember Pinky and the Brain? We're gonna do what we do every night, Pinky. Try and take over the world. Green Owl, that's gonna be you. That's totally me and one of my good friends. He's Pinky, or no, he's Brain, I'm Pinky. We've been doing that since high school. Okay, I need to mix these up because I haven't shuffled them before. Pixie Dust said, I pre-ordered this, but I canceled it. Couldn't afford it at that time. Yeah, that's fine. There are a lot of decks that I'm like they're really pretty. I just like not in the budget right now. So I always think that if things were meant to be, like, it will just happen. Like it will be in the budget, you know, because I don't like to try to force anything, like forced decks or even forced purchases on anything. I'm like, if something's meant to be, the circumstances are going to be right and I'm going to be able to get it. So don't feel bummed maybe in that way. Sherry Bug said, one is a genius, the other insane. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other insane. Okay. Get these all mixy. Okay. A little more mixy. Oh, by the way, I was carrying around a crystal with me yesterday. It was one of my Lemurian quartz. So, I don't know, maybe that helped out with all the spiritual activity I was working with yesterday. Greenhouse said, definition of insanity, repeating actions expecting different results. Exactly. Exactamundo. Okay. What do we need? What do we need? Everybody in this group, what do we need today? Ooh. Okay, that's too many cards. One card, please. What do we need today? Okay. Huh? Can you guys read that? A blessing on growing older. Ah! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't know why that's gonna make me cry. Oh my gosh. um, wow. And I know it's not 37, but it says 38. It's close enough. Sherry Bug said, holy crap. Holy crap indeed. Okay, wow. Okay. Right here in the heart. Wow, feeling it. Okay, so yes, I'm literally growing a year older tomorrow at 5:07 p.m., June 10th, 1981. New Age Lunatic is going to be 38 next month. Oh my gosh. So what I'm getting for this is, well, number one, it truly is a blessing for all of us, you know, that get to be that 1 year older. I could never understand why there are people that dreaded their birthdays. For me, it was like I get to be on this earth, like I'm still here. Like I'm 1 year older. I'm still here. And although I sometimes have growing pains, there are lessons that maybe I don't like so much. But there's so much good that has happened in my life, and there's so many good people that I've met, and so many wonderful things that I've seen happen that so outweighs all the bad that has happened. And so, you know, I could focus on all the crappy things that have happened, and there are many. There's been a crappy childhood, there was a crappy adolescence, there was crappy young adulthood. Christina says, I am old but happy. Yes. And you know, but I change, you know, I keep evolving and changing, and if I didn't have the crappy with the good, I wouldn't be who I am, you know, and who I am is apparently people kind of like who I am, and I kind of like me too, you know, and that's good. We should like ourselves, and you know, and if I was in that mindset of just grumpy all the time and just so upset with all that's happened to me, I wouldn't be able to see all good that's going on in my life, and I probably wouldn't be stoked about being another year older. But I am, you know, and I can say that even with the shitty year I've had, I'm like, I don't care because I'm looking forward to some really awesome stuff. And so growing older, and sometimes growing older doesn't, what I'm getting is not always physically older, but like Sherry Bug, you know, trying out brand new things. It's growing wiser in getting to know ourselves. So if you're trying to do energy healing, or if you're picking up oracle cards for the first time, maybe you're learning gardening for the first time. It's a new skill. It's new, and the more you try and you practice, and the older you get at it, the better you get at it. The more you try at it, the better things are going to be. The more you learn, and that whole quote, "You live and learn," you do, and it's awesome. So, um, yeah. Ooh, that made me. Thank you, universe. So yeah. So to all of you guys that have just had birthdays, are gonna have birthdays, having birthdays, maybe you've already had your birthday and you're having your birthday next year. Just happy birthday. And I'm wishing you all a wonderful day. And yeah, may you all grow older and wiser, which doesn't always mean physically older, but older in the things that you guys are doing and everything that you're practicing. Whether you fall along the way, a baby's got to fall like a lot before they learn how to walk. So, yep, 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 yep. That feels really good. That whew, can't wait to work with this deck some more. That just felt really good. um, Sherry Bug said, "Oh, happy birthday! Thank you, thank you." New Age Lunatic also the blessings of this card and the story of the girl with her birthday party. Yes, um, I feel very fortunate that I got to like tell her story, and I started telling everybody at the party. I like couldn't stop telling her story. Like I felt compelled to tell her story, and the more I told it, the more I could see her so happy. Like she was like a little girl, literally waiting for her birthday. She's like, "I'm gonna have a party. I'm gonna see my grandma." Like she was so excited, and for me, um, okay, so I'm learning new things about spirit, and sometimes I think that. Um, some spirits that come across as like bad or scary are really just lost and really looking for some help. And so like when she first came to me looking kind of Night of the Living Dead, like kind of scary, because I didn't run away and because I stayed there and talked to her, um, it was like, yeah, I got to like really get to know this spirit, and it's like helping somebody take their guard down. Like spirits have guards too. Like help them bring down their guard and then being able to help somebody. So I really truly believe that as long as she gets her birthday party, um, and everything's just done with love and intention, and I think she'll be able to make it over to the other side just fine. And I told the mom, I was like, let me know when you throw that birthday party because I'm gonna try to send so much love. So so she was like, you got it. Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna plug the phone into the computer real quick to give it some juice because my phone is getting sucked of juice. And I'm gonna send you guys off with an energy healing. So again, it was just one card and just a little bit of energy, and then basically that's all the juice I got. So um, you don't have to receive this energy healing. You can leave now if you want. Not gonna hurt my feelings. Everybody likes working with energy their own way, but if you would like to receive some of it, all you have to do is just set the intention that you're open to it. And maybe on the comment section right now, just like physically putting out into the universe all the people that you wish to receive this healing. So just putting their name out there is energy. So put their name out there, even if it's your own name. It could be your fur baby's name. It could be maybe the names of people you don't even know. It could be countries, like whatever. Just like let's just put some goodness out there. So just start naming people, places, animals, plants, and then the intention will be that that's where the energy goes for this particular healing. So okay, I'm gonna grab my Lemurian quartz that I worked with last night, and we're gonna use that. And yeah, so you guys keep typing. I'm gonna go grab that quartz, and then we'll do our little healing. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is my Lemurian quartz that I was working with last night when I was working with a lot of spirit and healing. Okay, so some water. Here we go. you guys enjoyed that. Whew. That felt really good for me too. And for some reason, while I was pushing out all the good energy, for some reason I kept hearing the words Lady of the Lake. Yes, now I'm going to take a nap. New Age Lunatics. Ooh, busy. Yes, Christina, I'm going to go get something to, blah, blah, blah. Can't even talk. I'm going to go get something to eat, and then I'm going to take a nap. But I don't know why I kept hearing Lady of the Lake. That was interesting. Kept seeing a body of water and a woman, but Lady of the Lake. Sherry Bug said her hands tingle when I do that. Mine are always super tingly, especially when I'm doing that. So anyway, hopefully, like my intention was just that whoever was open to it and whoever was intending the energy to go to, that's where it was going. And hopefully everybody received some good juju, some good vibes, and some love from that. And I thank you guys all for your birthday wishes, and happy birthday to everybody who just had a birthday, is gonna have a birthday, and all over the world. I mean, I don't care how long ago your birthday was. Happy birthday. And yes, like the card said here, blessings on growing older. And I thank you guys all for stopping by. It's been a pleasure. I really look forward to these. Like, you guys don't know how much I look forward to doing this on my Saturdays. You know, like pulling cards. I know I couldn't pull more than one card today, but pulling cards and doing my healings, like I love doing that for you guys. So I will catch you guys next Saturday. And like I said, I'm going to try to vlog my birthday and put up some fun videos because now I'm on summer break. I'm so excited. I've already started working on that Oracle deck, so that's going to be a fun summer project. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys on my meetup in July. That'd be really cool. I'd love to get to meet some of you guys face to face. I think that would be great. Whew. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful weekend and a wonderful June wherever you are. And peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Thank you guys for a wonderful Saturday and all the birthday wishes. I can't wait for my birthday. Bye, you guys.